Godfather Soul James Brown, I tell you, this business is on. My man is on. Check him out. This is the Godfather Soul James Brown saying stay with it and hit it.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. We are here and we are live. And we're asking questions that many people don't want to ask.
Well, James Brown isn't live, but we are.
Yes. And listen, I heard this analogy, and I gotta tell you. Okay, I gotta tell you this analogy and see if we're on the right track here. Okay, say you have $500 for the month for food, right?
Okay.
And your wife says to you, let's only spend 2% of that because I want to buy these Gucci shoes.
All right. So 2% of $500 to last month.
Yeah.
All right.
And she's gonna look good.
While you guys starve.
Yeah. So she's gonna look real good in those Gucci shoes. And you're gonna eat like 2% of that. And but she said, what was that guy Gerardo Fernandez, who Billy Crystal used to imitate? It is better to look good than to feel good.
You wouldn't feel good at all trying to subsist on $5 or $10 a month. That's for darn sure.
I know.
2% of $500 is just not. I think that is the best weight loss program there ever was. You don't have to spend very much money on it. Johnny, you're onto it. You've just discovered a millionaire weight loss program. My golly, Johnny, let's market this bad boy. Hey, what do we got on deck for tonight?
Well, we're going to be talking about that and I got something special.
Friends would walk up to me and just be like, "What the f is in your mug?" And I would just tell them,
"Hold on, Jose,
it's mud."
That's not exactly what I want to hear.
I was drinking tons of coffee. I was jittery, I was anxious. It became really obvious to me that my coffee addiction was more something that...
An explosive
this is what I want you to hear.
Virginia school board meeting over proposals including requiring school staff to use students' preferred gender, pronouns, and names. 2 parents later arrested for allegedly refusing to leave the building after fierce public comments. Watch.
Ooh.
Today, instead of focusing on the hate that seems to be dripping off the followers of Jesus in this room, and from their kids in our schools, I wanted to take the time. Oh, wait. I can wait.
I've noticed a pattern. You treat your bosses, most of us, like children. You treat the woke mob, your employees and teachers unions, like the boss. And you treat children who have not harmed you like pawns in your leftist social experiment. When you give us a timeout for clapping, we hear you saying, "Look at me, I am the captain now." You're not the captain, we're your bosses, and God willing, we'll return most of you to the private sector very soon.
You're teaching children to hate others because of their skin color, and you're forcing them to lie about other kids' gender. I am disgusted by your bigotry and your depravity.
Joe Mobley to be followed by Johnnie.
Madam Chair, I move to end public comment.
There's been a motion to end public comment. Is there a second? Thank you. The motion carries 9-0. Public comment is now ended. We will move to our next agenda item.
Parents are starting to wake up.
Definitely a pivotal time in social rights type history. It's just as pivotal as the 1960s once were.
Yeah, and there are some of those people who like Greta, and they're saying,
How dare you?
how dare you question the almighty people on the board of schools, the communist bot, the socialists, radicals, the social warriors on this school committee. How dare you question what we are teaching your kids as we try to indoctrinate them to hate themselves, to hate America, to hate everything that is good in this world. And if they disagree, we'll put them in a closet. If they don't want to listen to us, instruct them on how they should be what is it, like a transsexual, and they don't want to hear that, we'll put them in a closet and show them just how much we disapprove of them not wanting to learn what we want to indoctrinate them with. Boom. Huh. Oh, man.
Sounds like you're on fire, Johnny. Sounds like you're on fire. I think you and a lot of the nation are starting to realize, especially with these Zoom calls, when they were pretty much all but forced to go to school with their children to find out what exactly was being taught in the classrooms. So it is a good thing to get involved and to stay involved at the local level, starting with your dog catcher or school board member if you need to, going on to your state level. And of course, ending up, if that's your bent, in the federal level, and realizing also that the civic duty afforded us by the way that our governmental structure is set up, we get to go back to our civilian lives after that's done. I think that's what a lot of people have forgotten, especially politicians that have been in the arena for, more than 20, 25, 50 years.
48 years, 49 years for
yeah.
Biden, 31 years for that Maxine kerosene fire. It's like, and maybe they think like, and somebody said like, maybe that the mind is stuck in the 60s, and they keep on saying, well, we haven't progressed, but maybe they haven't progressed in their minds, and then maybe they thought they had dumbed down the American kids, citizens, so much that when they say we're going to only spend, or they don't say it, when we find out that they're only spending 2% on the actual infrastructure of bridges and roads, but they're spending all the 98% on the making us pay for the killing of babies, which we should call not the Planned Parenthood, but the planned deathhood of children, because they asked the past leader, when do you think that life starts? And she says, well, we're going to be discussing this for the rest of the time. No, lady, when the sperm hits that egg, that's when life starts. And if you're that much of an idiot, then maybe we should start sterilizing and put you in the front of the line.
Wow.
But, I don't know, man. I'm on fire, man. I don't know. After I'm learning more about that bill and the pork, and it's been going on for years, even during Trump years. I mean, he said, I don't like this, and I said, then why sign it? Why sign it? If you know all this pork is in there, all these stupid things in there, why sign it? Shut it down. Shut that government down. Let them go out and get regular jobs and see how it really is. Shut it down. But
it would be interesting to have that happen, to where your average politician were made to sit in the basic apartment, like like yours truly here, and to just sort of do what they can to just sort of eke out an existence on a daily basis, day in, day out. not know where the next meal's coming from, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, no, just kidding. It's not that.
Oh man. And so that was our last topic, but I just brought it up to the top, how the school system is indoctrinating. It seems like there's a war on our children, and we've been at the will of sleep, letting the left take over and trying to put all these crazy ideals into our children's mind. And they have won for the most part, because look how they shut down the country. And we just said, well, they must know what they're talking about. No, I say question everything that the government puts out there. They are a bunch of liars. There's no truth in them. They don't love you. They only care about the last dollar, and that's the dollar that they put in their pocket, and the hell with you. It's like, this law is for you, but it's not for thee. So anyway, oh,
sleep. It's okay. They'll be here in the morning with I don't even know, more and more and even more. Just go back to sleep. It'll be okay.
Oh my God.
Yes. And so we just I'm thankful that people are waking up and that people are standing up. And like my mother was one of those radical people. And I wish I would have married someone like that, but it is what it is. She would drop in on the schools and I would say, Mrs. Johnson, why did you call us and let us know? And she says, so you can prepare.
Right.
And she would drop in and she says, why is this happening? Why is that happening? And they're like the Jackie Leeson, and it was just fun watching that. And then we would have a talk around the table about these teachers and the expressions on their faces. And she would share that, with us around the table, because she said, hey, I want to know what the teachers. So when you guys come home, I want to know when you get some of these ideals. And if you're back then the schools weren't as worse as they are now, but I don't know too many parents like the last 10 years that are like that, but that will go to all the PTA meetings, because I guess you get home from work, you're tired, you got to fix dinner, or maybe you want to, put something on TikTok, which is kind of crazy, or play your games or whatever you want to do to distract yourself. And there is you have in your command the shaping of our future, and just don't let the radical left-wing socialists indoctrinate your kids to where you don't even recognize them. And so I don't know. I got grandkids. I don't know what's happening with them. I know I have one daughter who she's living a de Janeiro lifestyle. And I don't know. I said, well, who are you? Where did you come from? And said, I call them on the phone. I said, a child needs more than a phone call. You need to be in their life. And that's why I stayed in Denver. I could have went to jobs in other states and everything and be a telephone dad. But I said, no, I want to be here. I may not get along with the mother, but my kids are my kids. And I don't see why these guys, they just disappear.
Yeah, I did my best to also stay in Colorado close to my kids, even though I wasn't as close as I could have been and should have been, perhaps. Yeah, I did move away from Denver, but I stayed here in Colorado.
Yeah.
And things. But it does get difficult when you've got the nuclear family and it's under attack. You've got the society trying to just pretty much say that a single parent home is just as good as a home with two parents in it, and things like that. And the whole idea of entropy is rampant in our society. We just need to take it back, unify, reunify, and keep unification. That's where music comes in. That's where the arts come in. That's where our history comes in, that we teach our children and make sure to teach our children, especially about things like you were telling me about yesterday on your show, dealing with Juneteenth. That's something that's interesting, and it's history that should never be forgotten. And it's just like with any history, there's some history that there's some pieces there that should never happen or could be improved upon, but there's great stories of success, and so it's always good to learn from our history.
And that's why I like to know a mixture of people, because I learned things that I never knew. Like when I told you, I guess, like yesterday, that there were slaves in Russia, but in 1861 they freed those slaves, and then I don't know if it was like afterthought of Abraham or whatever, but then in 1863, then Abraham followed suit, and then it just kept going and kept going, and then some countries like Africa, like apartheid, it took a long time before they stopped doing all that kind of stuff. But this can always, I guess, when there's people, there's going to always be injustice in the world, and we can only work on the little world that we're in charge of. I mean, God puts people in our lives that we're in charge of being that example around that. And maybe we're not always the best of examples, but hey, we do our best to be a good example to those who are around us. And so I was thinking about something else. It was something else. Oh, so anyway, so I'm glad people are still learning math. And did you know we're number 32 in math?
Well, it does kind of make me sad, because that has shipped up for us. Last time I looked at it, it was probably about 5 or 6 years ago, and we were shaping up to be about 27th. It's a sad thing to know that we're shaping up to be 32 now. That's the wrong direction to be going, I think.
Okay, so maybe we should pull back on trying to teach like you're who you think you are today, or whatever, or hate yourself because you're this skin color, or hate America, or the what's this, the 1619. Maybe we should take that out of the school, or the Common Core math, and start just teaching math. I mean, that's the concept. Just
good old 3 hours reading, writing, arithmetic.
Yeah, and if you have time, you can go off and learn all those other idiotic things that the democratic socialist school boards want you to fill your heads with, or your parents can opt out and just say, okay, after the math reading and all that stuff is done, we're out of here. And if you want to, if any of the socialists want to stay here, knock yourself out. But the rest of it, and school choice. I understand why these Democrats don't want school choice anyway, because if you have a choice, and instead of, and the money follows the child, and you're not performing, the parent could say, oh, I have a choice. I could take my child over here where he will learn, and then drain the swamp of bureaucrats that are getting paid $200,000 a year or more to do nothing but just shuffle papers or shuffle their mouths.
Well, it is kind of fascinating to see that there is a different way. People have started to wake up a little bit when it comes to how the learning is structured. And myself am going through that right now because I just started college. And so the learning structure is much different than it was, say 20, 30 years ago. It almost seems like, well, up until today, I should say, but it almost seems like the thing is set up to where you can't fail. Now, I did run into a bit of a snag today when I was going through some basic history of the computer and things like this. Why I didn't take any notes. I just sat there and listened to the videos, and then I went ahead and took the little tests and things like that, and I bombed both of them.
Wow.
I think I
Okay.
got 23% on one and a 30 on the other one or something like that. So
Back
it
to
was
the
a little
drawing
bit of a
board.
blow to the precious ego, but I will tell you, the idea being that we are learning, and we're in uncharted territory when it comes to learning. We're learning how to learn, and we're teaching ourselves, and by consequence, we have to teach our children. And in some ways, our children are kind of teaching us, because in some ways they're much smarter than we are. Why, I know 2, 3, 4-year-olds that muddle through setting the VCR or such things, back in the day. Now, of course, it's getting into an iPhone and opening up a bunch of apps and charging their parents for games and toys and things that they
Yeah.
I don't know. So
Yeah. Hey, I want to say hello to Casper Stockham. He's a part of a Republican Party that, and I forgot the name of his. Forgive me for that. But he's teaching like candidates how to run for these lower seats of government, school boards, commissioners, and just other things, because we really gotta get back these just smaller seats. I know not the ones that are the Senates and all that kind of stuff is sexy, but we have to get back to ground. But he's teaching classes, I think every like 6 weeks to 8 weeks, training them up. And he ran a few times. And I even wonder like if he probably would have won if our machines, I still question those machines, and Griswold saying that there's no there. We don't want a third party checking out the machines. Why? Because maybe Casper Stockham would have won the places that he would have went for, if not for the cheating and the tampering with the machine.
So where do we go to sign up for these classes?
Well, he has a website, Casper. Casper, if you're still watching, put down the name in the what is that called, the in the message box right there, so people can see. It was Casper for Colorado. That's what I remember, Casper for Colorado. But he has another one for conservatives being trained up and out there. So if you could put that down there, Casper, I would greatly appreciate it. And give us a thumbs up, share this, and subscribe. We got another subscriber yesterday after our show yesterday. So our show is not going to be a cup of tea for everybody. Sometimes we're going to talk about music, and if you want to talk about more music, then info@Innervisionfm, we'll listen to you. I come up with the topics because if I don't hear from you before, I'm saying like maybe 11 o'clock each day, I'm coming up with whatever is in front of my eyes, in front of my ears for that day. And I was listening to the Wayne Dupree show, and I was saying I was just getting fired up. And so I said, okay, this is the topic for tonight. So
it's definitely a topic to get into, is the board meetings and that kind of thing. It's something to really look at.
And that infrastructure, and how Democrats will try to change the narrative, or change the meanings of words to fit into their narratives. And Republicans, you have to get as good as they are on the other side with changing the narrative. And I heard Hills Up Harris is finally going to go down to the border. Now, will she get to the border before President Trump, or will she get there after? And she's going to go to the milder side of the border, because she doesn't want the cameras to see the cages that her predecessor Obama put up there, and then they try to blame that on Trump. So she's finally going to get down to the border. Yeah. Before she goes to Europe, huh? Before she goes to Europe, huh?
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So we'll see what Heels Up Harris talks about why she's down there at the border. We shall see, and it's going to be interesting to see how much coverage President Trump gets when he goes down there and shows the debacle, the stupidness of what Harris and Biden are perfectly doing, because they don't care about you. They don't care about illegals. They don't care about anybody. All they care is about distorting money out of us, the American people, and keeping that money trail going, right?
How dare you?
Yeah, okay.
Nothing better than extortion.
Yeah. So we'll, because we're definitely going to talk about that when it happens. President Trump down there and Heels Up Harris as well. So it's going to be kind of cool. Find out that.
Oh my God.
Yes. Okay. So anyway, we started a little early. And so we want to hear your comments. Put your comments in the comment line. Hey, for some reason, I got to find out what's going on. YouTube has been turning off the comments. It wasn't me. So I need to find out what's going on. Maybe because the comments are getting so fiery, they say, well, we got to turn off the comments here,
Yeah, take a look and see what your parameters are set at. If anything is set for made for kids, the comments are automatically turned off.
Yeah, I changed that. Oh, okay. I saw, and then we had a violence because we had an artist son back in January that did the music. So I got to go back in there and find out what was going on there, why they said that it's a copyright infringement. But that was the artist, and we were playing his music as he was talking.
That's fascinating. So you got a copyright infringement strike.
Yeah. So it's like all this stuff. There's so much stuff to keep up with. So ladies and gentlemen, don't try this at home because let us professional, Alan and I, do this for you. Okay.
Right.
Yes. So
we'll take the heat so you don't have to.
Yes. Well, anyway, the night's gonna be a busy night. Got a board meeting. We're working on a grant proposal. We got a concert coming up. July 10th. Then we have another concert coming up at the Lions Lair in Colorado with Casey and friends on July 17th. Then we have the one that Innervision is sponsoring at Mercury Cafe on the 24th, Mercury Cafe here in Colorado. And I was able to hire the best volunteer. I've known this volunteer ever since 91. All business will be collecting the money at the door. That's $10 at the door. If you buy your tickets online, it's only $9. So go to innervisionrecords.org, get your tickets, because on the 24th, that's going to be a fantastic show. And we want to see you there. All right. Yeah. And we're going to be taking pictures. It's going to be taking pictures and stuff like that. And so we'll have pictures to show you and all that kind of stuff. And maybe you could get pictures with some of the rock stars that will be there that night. So, man.
It'll be good. A
lot of stuff is going on. Casey is going down to New Orleans to make 3 videos at the cost of $3,500. So he's going down there to have them made very, very professionally and clean and stuff like that. And so we wish him safe travels when he goes down to New Orleans for like the next 7 days, starting this weekend.
That works out.
And I want to work with the other artists, D'Angelo. I'm working with Alfonso. Let's see. What is his name? Quan Matthews. And it's another artist. And I think his name is Dwayne, I think.
Dwade, something. Dwayne.
Yeah. And then Roland Graham, he's doing his own thing. And And so, but he's going to be on that bill as well. So, man, a lot of stuff is going on. And so hit the thumbs up, share this, subscribe, follow us, and all that kind of stuff.
It's only because of you that we're doing this kind of thing, because music unites everybody and you are everybody.
Yeah. And so I want to give everybody a hand. And thank you for just being there for us and just, showing your support here on Innervision FM.
All right.
Okay, I'm about to close this out. Is your video? Yeah, your video as well. All right, God bless.
God bless.
And we'll see you guys